My son was kidnapped 4 years ago. Last night he knocked on my door. The night my son was taken from me is one I've tried to forget, yet it haunts my every waking moment. 4 years have passed since that terrible day, but the pain has never dulled. It's a wound that has refused to heal. A gaping hole in my life that nothing, not time, not therapy, not even the faint glimmer of hope, has been able to fill. Max was only 6 years old when he disappeared. We were at the park, his favorite place in the world. I had looked away for just a moment, distracted by a text message, and when I looked back, he was gone. At first, I thought he was playing a game, hiding behind one of the trees or the playground equipment. But as the minutes ticked by and I couldn't find him, panic set in. I screamed his name, ran through the park like a madwoman, but he was nowhere to be found. The police were called, search teams were assembled, but it was as if he had vanished into thin air. No witnesses, no clues, nothing to suggest what had happened to him. Just the unbearable emptiness of loss. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and eventually, the search was called off. They said they'd keep looking, that they wouldn't give up, but I could see it in their eyes. They had lost hope, but I never did. Every night I prayed for his return, for some miracle that would bring my little boy back to me. I kept his room exactly as it was, untouched, as if he might walk through the door at any moment. His toys were still scattered across the floor, his bed unmade, his favorite stuffed animal, a worn-out bear named Mr. Whiskers, sitting on the pillow where he'd left it. Then, last night, something impossible happened. I was in the living room, half-heartedly watching TV, my mind as always on Max. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that has become unbearable over the years, the kind that amplifies the silence until it feels like a living thing, suffocating you. It was nearly midnight when I heard it, a knock at the front door. At first I thought it was just my imagination. No one knocks on doors at that hour unless it's an emergency, and after years of waiting for the worst news, I've grown paranoid. But then it came again, louder this time. I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. I walked to the door, my heart pounding in my chest. The hallway was dark, and with each step, I felt the weight of dread pressing down on me. I hesitated, my hand hovering over the doorknob. Who could it be at this hour? And why did it feel so wrong? Slowly, I unlocked the door and pulled it open. There, standing on my doorstep, was Max. At least, it looked like Max. My breath caught in my throat, and for a moment, I couldn't move. I just stood there, staring at the figure in front of me, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. He looked exactly the same as he did the day he was taken. Same clothes, same shoes, even the same little scrape on his knee from where he'd fallen off his bike that morning. But he hadn't aged a day. I dropped to my knees, tears streaming down my face as I reached out to him. "Max," I whispered, my voice trembling. "Is it really you?" He didn't say anything. He just stood there, staring at me with those big brown eyes that were so familiar, yet so unsettling. There was something off about him, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. His skin was pale, almost too pale, and his eyes, they seemed empty, devoid of the light and warmth I remembered. "Max?" I repeated, my voice more desperate now. He nodded slowly, but still, he didn't speak. I wanted to wrap my arms around him, to hold him close and never let go, but something held me back. An instinct, perhaps. Or maybe it was the sheer strangeness of the situation. How could this be real? How could he be standing here, unchanged after all these years? I let him inside, my mind racing with questions, but none of them made it past my lips. I was afraid that if I asked too many, if I dug too deep, the fragile reality of his return would shatter. Instead, I brought him to the living room and sat him down on the couch. He moved stiffly, almost mechanically, and as he sat there, staring straight ahead, I felt the first pangs of fear. "Are you hungry?" I asked, trying to sound normal, trying to ignore the growing unease in the pit of my stomach. He shook his head. "Thirsty?" Another shake. I sat down beside him, unsure of what to do. The room felt colder, the shadows longer. I couldn't stop glancing at him, searching for something familiar, something that would reassure me that this was really my son. But the more I looked, the more I realized how wrong it all felt. "Max, where have you been?" I finally asked, my voice barely above a whisper. For a long moment, he didn't answer. Then, in a voice that was his, but somehow wasn't, he said, "I was with them. Now they're dead."